Think of DNA as the ultimate instruction manual for life, like a Lego guide but for every living thing. DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is a twisted molecule carrying all the genetic information an organism needs to grow, survive, and reproduce. It determines traits like eye color, leaf shape, or butterfly wing patterns, making each species an individual unique. This genetic blueprint is passed from parents to offspring, explaining family resemblances. When cells divide, they copy their DNA, ensuring life continues and species retain their characteristics. DNA's code is written with 4 chemical bases: adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine. The sequence of these bases forms the instructions for life. By studying DNA, scientists can trace the relationships between species, understand genetic diseases, and even peer into the distant past. DNA technology now helps solve crimes, improve crops, and answer questions about our origins. This tiny molecule is the foundation of life and a key to unlocking the mysteries of our world. DNA is a microscopic code with a story that spans all of life on Earth. When an organism dies, its DNA begins to break down as the cell's repair systems shut off. Water, microbes, and even natural radiation attack the DNA, snapping its chemical bonds and fragmenting the molecule. Scientists have measured this decay and found DNA's half-life is about 521 years. After that, half the bonds are broken. Over time, the genetic code is chopped into unreadable fragments, like a book losing letters every century. Eventually, DNA becomes so damaged that it's impossible to reconstruct the original information. Even under perfect conditions, DNA is unreadable after about 6.8 million years. In most environments, especially warm, wet ones, DNA decays much faster, sometimes lasting only a few thousand years. This relentless breakdown is why ancient DNA is so rare and why there's a hard limit to how far back we can read life's genetic history. The story of an organism is eventually lost as its DNA fades away. This natural time limit shapes what we can discover about the distant past. DNA's fragility is both a challenge and a guide for scientists searching for ancient life. The search for the oldest DNA is a race against time and decay. In Siberia, scientists sequenced DNA from a mammoth preserved in permafrost for 1.2 million years. Recently, DNA fragments from ancient mud in Greenland pushed the record to 2.4 million years, revealing a lost ecosystem of mastodons, reindeer, and ancient forests. For humans, the oldest DNA comes from a 400,000-year-old bone in a Spanish cave, helping us map our evolutionary connections to Neanderthals and Denisovans. These breakthroughs were once thought impossible. Just decades ago, the first extinct animal DNA was recovered from a museum sample. Now we're reading genetic stories from creatures and environments millions of years old. Each ancient DNA discovery is like finding a lost chapter in the book of life. These genetic clues let us reconstruct ancient worlds and understand our own origins. The science of ancient DNA is rewriting our understanding of life's deep history. DNA's survival depends on its environment. Cold, dry, and dark conditions are best. Freezing temperatures slow decay and stop microbes, which is why the oldest DNA comes from permafrost or deep ice. Dryness helps by removing water, a major enemy of DNA, while darkness protects against damaging sunlight. In contrast, hot and humid places destroy DNA quickly, making ancient genetic material rare in tropical regions. That's why Africa, despite being humanity's birthplace, yields only relatively young DNA samples. Sometimes DNA is preserved in teeth or dense bones, which act as protective capsules. Even hardened dental plaque can trap DNA from ancient diets and bacteria. Understanding these preservation factors guides scientists to the best places to search for ancient DNA. The right conditions can lock away genetic secrets for hundreds of thousands or even millions of years. Preservation is the key to unlocking the oldest stories written in DNA. Jurassic Park's dream of resurrecting dinosaurs is pure fiction. DNA simply can't survive that long. Dinosaurs vanished 66 million years ago, but DNA breaks down completely after about 6.8 million years, even in perfect conditions. Amber doesn't stop decay. Studies show DNA inside trapped insects still degrades over time. After millions of years, any dinosaur DNA is reduced to useless fragments. There's no genetic blueprint left to read. This isn't a problem of technology, but of chemistry and time. Fossils tell us about dinosaur bones, but not their original DNA. However, de-extinction is possible for more recent species, like the woolly mammoth, using genetic engineering and the DNA of close relatives. Reviving Ice Age giants is a real, though complex, possibility. While Jurassic Park remains fantasy, the science of ancient DNA is opening doors to our more recent past. The true story of DNA is about discovery, not resurrection.